They are taking the strength of the army and the strength of the nation to the southern border to prevent people from coming in. And it's not going to be pretty. The way our armed forces, where you want to when you get it. I'm sure there will be a lot of human rights abuses now. I'll say that second biggest thing under that we are all talking about near the end of the birthright citizenship. Basically, in there say America, now Oba no automatically becomes a US citizen. And this right is enshrined in the Constitution. So long as you are within the territory of the United States, now Oba wa Hanoma, Oba no or a US citizen. Penny executive order, yeah, or signee. Basically, if the mother, Mameno, is here as an undocumented immigrant or is here on a temporary basis, na papano onye US citizen, na onye permanent resident. A banner will in the next 30 days. So it doesn't take effect here. This is for Mofamba Oba 1. So let's say 30 days from Nida, so the 31st day, no. Mofamba no Oba 1, no. If Mamino, yeah, undocumented, another Owaha on a temporary basis, not Papano, onye US citizen, no, onye permanent resident, Afrabano, onye US citizen. Some countries will be banned. One Krofu will be banned from coming into the US. At this point, we are anticipating there, and sure, baby to the Nigeria might become part of it.
Your favorite way to send money to Ghana is back. We're excited to announce that Tap Send is back and better than ever. After a brief pause, we are happy to resume our mission of providing fast, affordable, and secure money transfers to Ghana. Don't let anybody tell you otherwise. Tap Send is working power. And remember, tell your loved ones abroad to send money through Tap Send to stand a chance to win big in the December Sambra promo. Tap Send. Papa no.
DHW 1642 Concord Plain Turbo Intercooler Engineer Bako 16 daily also worldwide. The only internet. Me kodin komo update from America. Mene Miami lawyer Bako. Me turning here program so I'm sharing no our US. Na me there one thing they be nim about me say maybe be ba say I try back say me ni obia citizen me ni obia US bia bekasa. Se me nyanko for 10 me pese me husu me hu de omutie ye omadwen kire aha me nsi obi akwan o enti obi ka omunyina omukasa wie no se me de obi ba na maka cho se me de expert ba or immigration lawyer me hu se me ne taxi driver na kasa me hu comment na de ono me ne ba no me so a taxi driver ono so tie o follow Trump nti o tie ono so na adwen de onim no waka what did I say? So me there minimum obi abeka say we then I'll bring professionals no me lawyers no man kasa be breaking it down ni ntie bi so sana me programs there before I shall say no me that me sponsors I say Delight Foods mo UK nyina no ko Afro shop bia na for we ni kire Delight Foods so Delight Foods no omo Delight House Akoko Delight Sobolo Delight Burkina and a Delight Bofruit kama papa omo UK old burgers na de eno na omo nom mo amako rem foforo no okọ Afro shop bia na kona kopebi na to na ye kama ejuma pasa me nka nkyere mo se omo hia requesters abogafo mo di sika be fia ma yetwam odi ejuma pasa me nka nkyere mo se wo project bia wo Ghana omo hia requesters na say opese omo si udan ma o tiler painter plumber steel bender electrician carpenter name it call omo website no www.ejumapa.com and answer omo contact number and I'll show you screen so from maybe your project in the Ghana bia no Ejumapa said you are covered omo hwe no mayama Slam Technology omo ye heavy papa sisi ano de bia me preach was inside ejuma we need the IT who IT courses, cyber security, and other courses our person here for we need Islam technologies. Will be Ghana and Asasuna, will be USA. In this all America, ubetimi join Slam technologies, ubetimi cyber security, or Ghana has as well, ubetimi join Slam technologies. Now we IT, a ban IT courses for any Slam technologies. Contact number and I will show a screen so Siciano, ubetimi attract one from obeso join and Oceans and you may be about IT for any Slam technologies. Mami go to examine lawyer Abba immigration attorney, champion lawyer. Number 1. Abba, what's that?
Okay. Yamena do me who na we.
Charlie champion pa. Ebe, na another I do. And I Trump nation say na ma. Trump nation no aka kano. Trump nation no aka kana dey slow down na. No that do.
Oh, no. No, when you're the you see you nipa no way juma ne it once you affect your client, it also affect you. It's as a yeah.
Sorry. On good news. I ain't on your good news. I mean, they no me squad baby one in background ho from Sarajevo to a one in a tapachula na de walk out. Tell one why I won't slow. A musu room na de or better watch the way on slow. But lawyer, and then you got details into Donald Trump policies obey. Why inauguration if matter the wasn't since I mean who online wasn't since I maybe approving maybe. I mean, give us the breakdown. You can take it from the immigration side, be about immigration, what's the and yes citizen they my rundown in your name too. Abba Ghana for you too.
That's BJ. That's okay because so most of it we're also still studying it into one premature out. Some of it I might just have to read because I had to take notes. And
no problem.
Even for Iron Anchor Sample, yeah, if you see me reading Iron Anchor Sample, we are now trying to dig through in Yamana or Zebeno. But I would say the most important thing I think the first one is the emergency order on the southern border. It is in the way America today. So yeah, southern border. So issues around Texas, I want to free Mexico, free the South America one and to Waba, Wobichuma, or from Mexico was the southern border and was Bano. The first thing he signed on was that emergency or executive order. Basically, the reason why he declared it as an emergency is because of the type of people he wants sending there to guard the southern border. In Titiano, now we have the force of the armed forces, the National Reserve, the troops, basically the heavy guns. I want to walk here. They are now manning the southern border. And not just that, so now he's also letting other states also was the one forces reckon. It is not just, let's say, the state that is sharing that boundary with Mexico. No, all of the other states are now being given the leeway to also contribute. It's a national emergency. He's deploying resources because like we've spoken about this before, because in his logistics, you need all of those things to be able to do that thing. But if you don't declare the national emergency, then you won't get the budget released, you won't get the money released. It's why in a national emergency, CCN, which is one of the topmost things. Now CCN SICA is available for him to be able to send the troops there and man the southern border. It's young Crofuna or Yawajin there, or CCN, I'll say this is just not the best time to do it. This would be an absolute worst time to say that I'm crossing over to come into the United States. I mean, for the next, give or take, maybe 3 to 4 months, this should not be part of your plan because they are taking the strength of the army and the strength of the nation to the southern border to prevent people from coming in. And it's not going to be pretty. The way our armed forces, where you want Juma, when you get it. I'm sure there will be a lot of human rights abuses now. So obi can say na atia. I don't think it will be a sabi if you have a wenyansa. This is just not the best time for you to do the crossing. Maybe a war on the other side, whether it's in Mexico, whether Nicaragua, whether Panama, maybe it will be ano. Just sit tight and wait and see what would happen over the next couple of months. Because with the national emergency, there's a full force going into the southern border. And in addition to them, now you will be it was an application app. It was CBP1, Customs and Border Protection one. So that allowed people not all to me asylum appointments online. Nanka was the room. Now wabe one credible fear interview naze for asylum. As at that app has been shut down. Into me use CBP1 to make your application or your appointments to come into the United States. That has been shut down. I don't put it or she was shutting it down. In fact, we are burning. I mean, sure the time I'm in your casino. At that time, no one shutting it down crowd before he even signed the executive order. And if you were relying on CBP1 at the border, this is for you. Our brothers and sisters are said war train on the other side or pedal bimna. They were waiting to use CBP1s. Even if you had appointments on CBP1, all of those appointments have been cancelled. You can't use it for asylum to come in. In relation to that, he's restarted the border construction in Biome. No, started there. He was building the wall, Naze, Biden, Ben, or wherever he had reached. They stopped the construction and all of that. As part of new executive orders, they are going to sign contracts, get vendors, get contractors to restart the border reconstruction. So that one is also up again as a new thing. I'll still go into Ondo because under that particular executive order, there's quite a number of things, but I'll jump back into it. I'll say the second biggest thing under that we are all talking about near the end of the birthright citizenship. Basically, in there say America, now Oba automatically becomes a US citizen. And this right is enshrined in the Constitution. Well, becoming using 1403, but it's the 14th Amendment in the Constitution there. So long as you are within the territory of the United States, now Oba Hanoma, Obano or a US citizen. Penny executive order, or signee. Basically, if the mother, Mameno, is here as an undocumented immigrant or is here on a temporary basis, na papano onye US citizen, na onye permanent resident. A banner will in the next 30 days. So it doesn't take effect CCR. This is for Mofamba Oba 1. Nida. So let's say 30 days from Nida. So the 31st day, no. Mofamba no Oba 1. No. If Mamino, undocumented, another Owaha on a temporary basis, na papano, onye US citizen, no onye permanent resident, Afrabano, onye US citizen. Ain't fine, any undocumented, there will be only paper, another why overstay. But in addition to it, you won't for temporary basis, what the B1, B2 was a visitor visa. Another okra F1 student visa. And now okra H1B, a Juma knows in the bay as an employer, but H1B is a non-immigrant visa. Another okra L1 is for executives of companies. Another okra extraordinary abilities all these classes of visas or a non-immigrant. And Canada maybe our Frigana Bano, Ejman also pay on H1B, Uknusu or H4. And I wouldn't be you are on non-immigrant visas, but you have legal status at ASA. You are here legally and you have legal status. But because we are on non-immigrant visas, I want to be so what within the next 30 days, Ubano on your US citizen. So it's not like I want to know 1 year, you're not illegal. You are here on a legal basis. Maybe a crowd one like extraordinary ability, maybe or yeah, artist or or you are a sports person as a crowd one in a Ezawaha. You have legal status, but or you're non-immigrant. Ain't it penny executive order no? Se ma menu cra can de one non-immigrant. Na papa no so or a derivative non cra them non-immigrant visa. And I means in the next 30 days and so on your season no in the next 30 days now. Nebano on your US citizen. This is the biggest thing. But as I said earlier, them birthright citizenship here is enshrined in the constitution. And it's a to me use executive order and kade. I'm going to over or amend a constitutional provision. Inti Minyoka says CCA it's in court. It's in court in the Ninth Circuit. Because of course, as I said, it's a constitutional provision. So we need the courts to interpret there. Does he have the power to draft them executive order no to change a constitutional provision? Inti, I'm expecting that within the next couple of days, we'll probably have a stay or an injunction, a nationwide injunction on this birthright executive order no, for it to go through the court system all the way up to the Supreme Court. I'm expecting it would definitely go before the Supreme Court. For the Supreme Court to interpret there, indeed, the thing about jurisdiction and citizenship and place of birth and you being born here now is all enshrined in it. No? Is it tied to our legal status and your parents' one legal status? So it's been fine. An executive order is coming into force in the next 30 days, basically telling, federal agencies and local agencies there, if you fit into any of these criteria now, they shouldn't say process a passport for you because you need to establish your citizenship. And the reason why this would also be a problem going forward is it applies across all states, across all peoples. Kaide, se pe onye bi before pe ana Mexicans pe ana Hispanics pe na wobaha on a temporary basis. We have people from Europe. Wobaha be ejuma. Most times, someone want them L1 as they are executives and CEOs of big multinational companies. But that's their visa they use in order to run their companies here. There isn't really, even though the aim is towards a particular group of people, the way it's crafted, they're free Europe, free Australia, free Canada, even if you're Canadian. I want to work at TN now because we have that bilateral relationship with Canada. What's me Juma. So even if you have two Canadian parents, now we'll cry them visas but no in the next 30 days. When you're US citizen. So based on the class of people are about the Frappino, that's why we are anticipating the Watchroom is being his executive order. But we are expecting a lot of pushback and it's going to go through the court system for a long litigation on it. It's Wabaze, but in terms of the implementation and enforcement, as I say, the laws we can be able to be trophy, but it needs to be enforced and it needs to be implemented. So in the next 30 days, and also said someone who when him internal one there 15 then all starts. It's starting in the next 30 days. So between now and the 30th day, I'm expecting that, especially in the Ninth Circuit, which is a very liberal. It's a liberal circuit. Federal judges, no, they are very liberal. So I'm expecting a nationwide stay and injunction on them particular executive order now for it to go through the courts, get the Supreme Court to interpret. And even after the Supreme Court is done, Kaide is a constitutional thing. So it still has to go before the Senate and the House. And for it to pass, you need 2/3 of both the Senate and the House. And they do have a simple majority. So you literally will hear a number of Democrats to cross carpets for it to pass both the Senate and the House. And it's not a simple process. Even though as all kind of you get it. But in terms of the steps to enforcement, there are quite a number of barriers in front of him for it to become law. And sometimes that's a good thing about constitutional law. Now, executive orders, Biden, he's cancelled about 78 of Biden. But when it comes to the laws, it's irrespective of administration. And when it comes to the constitution, it's also irrespective of the administration. So until it becomes a new constitutional amendment, for now, going forward, I am sure, but as I said, it's a 30-day waiting period for us to see how it's going to go in terms of the stay and the nationwide injunction. So that is probably going to happen, just based on our experiences with the Minyaman. Into Yenimda why and but Yamu also do okum and sana why emra mobia into them Yaman and the year trend there 1 month cry. In 1 month no. Bosum, into Okada as in a watch or and ended no. Or in a bosum's time, like in a month's time, between now and then, it is here your courts. Is in court sees yeah. It's a court the next to do. Share one to me enforce that law that order again until there court now all the way to the Supreme Court no. Wash no waka. What can reign so even what can reign one go okay fine. Them not yeah. Still na or a change in the constitution na it's a change. He has to go back to the Senate na Congress for them to 2/3. It's my fact I mean say Ghana Parliament and this is still 2/3. I think so. It is
and this is
that high. And it's them number P, I want you also the we are changing the constitution. And as I said, I don't envision who there. Democrats number no here no obenya for them to change it both in the Senate and in the House. So them not for the better.
Marcus is here and say Obano birthrights and or Azibia or Nyada obeti may take effect. See, I don't pass them long chain court and I didn't honestly waka was sign but ni problem or what. But mine first one that can about the border and I didn't only don't any approval on the way take effect.
Oh no, on the way take effect. And that's just because the Yamano is not in the constitution. Okay. And when the Birthright Citizenship is a 14th amendment under the constitution. And he recorded one sister as a was 1870 something. And it's been in effect since. And the constitution is not president Sasa, constitutional Sasa. Is the same for everyone, whether a Democratic president or Republican president or what's the same constitution nature. But what an is or agencies nazi. It's depending on only dream what he envisions for the nation as it's not in the constitution. So he can then draft on an executive order as to how to go about it. And a national emergency is part of his rights. It has papa. It's food it's part of one of his powers. He can declare it. It was not as going to war Nazi, he's just declaring a national emergency on the border. That one he can do it as part of the right as the executive. So it's my
okay, so you're doing about the bill.
It's Merba. It's Mark Ono. And I see things, so I think he designated some cartels criminal organizations as terrorist organizations. And it's one was when there's a if you want to DJ's mom and cover for P. And when there's a pedenia upe power na zone kratanazia, you would have to declare that you are not part of a terrorist organization. Because once you declare that thing, I was once part of it, it makes you inadmissible. One for more. Na pina free. I mean the Southern America sometimes because of the way they get involved in them gangs them sometimes they get involved in it tattoo and all of that to show. I mean, them no one bra you get it. Sometimes there will be a way in a kakran way free and I know way one so by force was over kishim and threats nazi. 80 pina wobana wobabeji asylum wahanuma. It's because they are running away from them microphone or because they were part of it na way like way na wopeda woba mobinya woba bobrafu for. But once you designate them organizations as terrorist organizations, DJ say me no interactive once a pempo and then me koye adwuma wo ho one day mpo a, immediately I'm deemed to be part of a terrorist organization. Inti se me pede me nyame nkrata wa hanuma, it makes it very easy for them to deny me. Because Rebecca there, you were once part of a terrorist organization, which has now been deemed to be criminal gangs, Nazi. So it might just be a criminal thing or it might just be a gang. But the moment we're designating as a terrorist organization, even a minute says one can one crumple, but one tattoo no end effect. It's not as I it's one most times the year medical examiners they will examine you like whole body nazi. And if there are any tattoo, the doctors have to make notes and stuff like that. There's a organization ni symbol. There's a keke. The symbol they say is a cross. Now a freedom chrono. And you're probably from that area. Or cross na in a doctor make or shoulder na weight them organization one yaman or one symbol no so you are a part of the so it's very easy for a half DHS for them to say that I will a part of them organization once it's deemed as a terrorist organization because you are deemed inadmissible. It is also to curtail is to reduce immigration and to deem people inadmissible and removable, as in you be away free her. And it's a maba, number me pay, me pay asylum. Nurse be a part of a terrorist organization. Or because me a part in 1 year then one farm mum so the next step need obey then obey him. So it's all part of the steps of nkrofo there borders we buen dodo obiara ba day ni nti sisi an pene mi nkrofo p from the system intenso is part of the process nti sebi minim dey enuanom p no wo fa ho ba sometimes they tend to spend months maybe a year from the whole journey to do bedru baby to the Mexico and border town or cancer and waba. In the process now, you meet people, you become comfortable, you become a part of them because just be careful. You get it? Because in Korea, where they've designated them, they were a terrorist organization. If was a wolf Ekawan would asem dena won't tell because Bekade Erebano. In the course of your journey, you became part of a terrorist organization, so you are deemed inadmissible. It's into me your paper. And I won't pass asylum no said one from mom. It's important. Most of these criminal gangs, most of them are is in Southern America. It's in your there may be gang Ghana and other Kenya and most of them have been designated in Southern America. In someone who offer I mean, it's just be careful of the people you interact with and, move around with. Be careful in terms of tattoos. Because sometimes, depending on what you depict on, was a better interpretation. Number profiles and but that's part of the things they will look at. For this particular gang with Sebi, Venezuela, this is what it means. So the fact that you have that tattoo on you, you're either part of them or you not not oil fair. And if they've been designated as a terrorist organization, Iti ono so ye ineda nyemo ye. And marker the resumption of border wall construction. No. And then the other thing, the Wofre PB remain in Mexico. Pina, I mean, those who've been coming, we sure that maybe you or room and CBP border car no ocean one or for one. No, was one called detention center. And a woman parole, and it's now hoka cran, a woman parole, and a woman court date. Now, was the win. Now the rim and oracle courts up and down as a sisi and waiting. And it is sisi watch was over back to Mexico. Now I got train all results was the adjudication of your case no or Mexico. Into 1 year there and no friend catch and release 1 year there watch you. No were release there. Oh, I was a report to ICE every other day and every week and every year. See, I watch what was all Mexico back there. I'll can say asylum is CQ. So whatever process you are looking for, it's not Mexico. Yeah, Vienna was a mawa before you can come in. In America, the CC because of the force in terms of the armed forces, na troops, na national reserve, na was they're going to man the whole border. In this is watch what. One man Raymond Cadeo Yababe detained was Oko back to Mexico there, Cochin Mexico. So that is one found back and be detained where we are. They will release you into the system and then you report. What you see is here, they are sending you back to Mexico for you to wait for Mexico. I mean, as I know, say as I seen the Mexican president Norica, nobody has spoken to him, was complaining about them, but someone will Trump as open or then. Oh yeah, it's once they've made up their mind, the remain in Mexico is coming back. That is what's going to happen. I've already repeated myself. This is not the best time to attempt to come in. And in the next 60 days, some countries will be banned. One Crawford will be banned from coming into the US. It would then the first administration, or any travel ban from that first day all listed countries Nazi and ended up in court. So he's waiting answer from that. Is it an ongoing streets? Also, countries be honoma. One vet and Crawford, 1 year background check, 1 year bazaar. He's listed a whole lot of things. And it's 60 days there to study those countries. So he hasn't brought a list. Waka there are some countries that one Crawford and the one background check they are not being effective and all of that. So for the next 60 days, they are going to review to check the Crawford if it's going to get better. If not, Crawford will free them countries. No, they're not going to allow them to come into the US. So in the next 60 days, in the next 2 months, we are expecting that he's going to bring back the travel ban. At this point, we are anticipating there and sure baby to the Nigeria might become part of it. But I'm not. It's just all of us. We all don't know, but it's just anticipation and based on our home Crawford in summer worker. But in the next 60 days, we are anticipating a travel ban for a number of countries. Ain't say baby, or let's say I wanna why one process area when ya BB to the immigrant visa and then ya non-immigrant visa, maybe B1, B2. Students in me, I show the pina waba. BB pede waha. This is the time to come. Because saying let's say the immigrant visa and you're part of countries now wabana, one man you won't come in. Even with an immigrant visa. One man room. So I know within INI forums, I said that Nigeria funa will gum no. Say if why you one process ni no way in your one visa, well, Becado merchant, pedemi jay juma, and I'm pedemi park and I'm pedemi ton me fie na me cars and sana. me too ma ba. Yeah, catch will be there saying and CC out the bra. You come and wait out the 60 days because we're anticipating that in the next 60 days they are going to ban it. Anybody from that country can no longer come into the US for whatever period the ban is going to be. In the next 60 days, no, that is what we are expecting, DJ. Onye easy. CC and so final orders of removal. I wonder what hana go through court system, no. Why maybe watch one, no when you paper, no watching one, no was one call court, no court card there. Won't free her. Me can interview will be crying. Nipa na no voluntary departure was be. You had somebody on your show a couple of months ago now say to see no, they are going to enforce the removal. And to say you'll be a while court there, you have to be removed from the country. And now I want to catch your court there. Oh, I'm going to do my voluntary removal. I'm a call. Now you're still in the system. I will know it's easier to catch you because what address Nazi is in the court system. And your removal order is in the court system. And I want to wear low hanging fruits, no. Because he wanted to do the mass deportation. The person you can nipa enyana obey is a you obia court catching there. The court has already told you that court you can no longer stay here. Because then you don't have to go back to court because the court has already ordered there when you're then won't free. Another or kind of voluntary amamako. So it's already in the system. Into the microphone, you are the people they are going to go after like in the next couple of days.
Young penny for baby say, if you are seeing her, obi ni ma obi che. Why na chill? Say we pay IT, who they won ye, say we pay support. Slam Technology say your number one partner. Your office will US in ye, your office will Ghana so ye, your numbers ni kuhono. Say we share IT classes, we hear career coaching, we hear support for business cyber security. Fraying, na your partner. Yaba wow. Slam Technologies, transformation with excellence.
Because there's already a removal order. First nanka ekadam was removal order, but you can still stay in the system so long as one chua samizimu wom etasa ha court munko into wom ha. There are so many people like that. So poor crumpo nyimpo. The removal order was in absentia, no him. Into the microphone. I will be because so with your address and your removal order, they'll come because I was the actual straight into the plane was Oracle. It is saying you know removal order on you. This might be the time to start planning. Because you are the ones they are going to come after because you are one of the way. So they are going to enforce them taking them out of the country. And Homeland Security, they are going to establish another force. It's almost like another police force within Department of Homeland Security. It's almost it's another police within them departments, to make sure the enforcement, are them or and I mean there in Yamano or okay, like as part of them, he's also trying to go into agreement with other states there. One the separation, the police were as ICE enforcement agency was Department of State was about customs and border. Everybody has what he's now envisioning it there. Local agencies and local enforcement, including police, on immigration powers to apprehend and to arrest.
Wow.
Yes. It is in agreement with. He said, "Baby today, blue state today had Chicago now. I mean, federal agency, FAA. It's my baby wage, but you won't get encouragement from baby to the police. It has the ones waiting. As a band, the one stop, but ones waiting there. with Azari. You get it. But with this new force now, or set it up now, they want to give immigration powers to them local agencies, now them local enforcement. Now, and make there, I think Missouri cry, Udu baby no bondsmen. Sometimes will be bond you have to pay and make sure you they want to give them wider immigration powers to apprehend and arrest Nkrofo or illegally. Some states, it's a we have the blue and have the red states. Some states will be eager. Maybe states be so instead of making it a rule on our work, it's an agreement. So as a federal agency, they'll go into agreement with each of these states. The police force, we want them to act as immigration personnel as well. And once they agree, because the states also have their own powers. States, so I agree there, one police force, because police is more community-based. And high immigration here is federal in nature. Unless, as I said, removal in Yamanazi, but police are all counting as I want when they know the areas. When in baby sabi aina easy when in baby juma, they know where immigrants they know the community. So if they decide to take on immigration powers, they know where to attack. That is what he's doing on a cellular level to get to illegal. Now we've all become aliens. We're better to being called aliens again because DJ aliens. Because sometimes the wedding also obiti alien man. You get it? They don't see you as their neighbor.
Alien, if you different planets, yeah.
Exactly. They don't see you as their neighbor. They don't see you as nipa They don't see when you are not any nipa man because you are an alien. Unfortunately, they are back to being called aliens. America. All the wedding is also part of it. It's and another thing. Institutions was a registration bureau. We don't know how they're going to but it's part of the executive order into registration of aliens. I want to without a paper. Now, what is a register? It becomes a criminal offense for which for non-registration. We don't know how it's going to work. But because we are now waiting for the enforcement of it. But it is through the registration and usable. Sebi DJ, see you register why you move baby at now you're sure why then so it's we are expecting there as part of the executive order as a registration of aliens and so as a river. But with all of these things, I mean, and you when I came on, we are ready for the fight. We are just going to let it through. Sometimes that's what the court system is also up for. But that doesn't also mean that there's no room for us to fight all the executive orders. So long as it's Trump. But for the next 4 years, this is what we are going to go through till the term is over. One of it is the registration of aliens. You name that or the baba. You name form or the baye. But we are waiting for the implementation of this registration. Just know the worker there is a register. It's a criminal offense. In fact, there's a new term put there with aliens in the car. Even lawyers was able to because we are helping out illegal aliens. We don't know how it's going to work. But this is
kind of man.
One of the executive orders in terms of you helping out illegal aliens. So what lawyers, but people who help. It's people who help, they can be interpreted in various ways, depending on who is doing the interpretation. But sometimes you know the brain behind the language. So yes, there's a very system, but those are the things that we are fighting, and it will be going before the courts. We are just going to be tied. It's going to be courts for the next.
Human rights, no fanye juma sisi o.
Oh, panye juma, no, DJ. Oh. Then the panel we World Health Organization, a Paris Treaty. Oh, the human rights here then. Oh, panye he's no. On for Debbie. Honestly, DJ honors on your juma. On fun. So make it now we are referred to as aliens. We are really not people with our own dreams na nyamaze. And a expedited removal in a part of yechwa intentum more time to do the court process. Expedited removal of aliens. It's with the previous administration, we had a lot of Haitians, Venezuelans. I want to know what them because of conflicts in Tokwa one won't fear. And Uncle no worry asylum na they were hanum. So the court system was tied. We anticipating the CCNO obeying Yaman tentem in terms of the court process. After da minim de director of immigration court way in Director of Immigration Court way in easy. I think about 3 other officers and so for Immigration Court in way in easy. So we are expecting there coming with the coming administration, either they're going to hire more judges who are more so asylum denials, not already the denials were very high. I'm expecting there's going to be triple the denials. And CCN why the first come first in, first out. Muslim American it is Yankan the CCN says asylum need to CCN. First man can it will take you years to get a decision. And Sana, if you be removed, you'll be removed. We are expecting the CCN to my own check. Within the 30 days of them application, you get a judge ruling on your asylum application. Intentum. Denial, and then you're out, going through the process. Detention facilities, they are also looking at constructing more detention facilities. In DCC, I think as a that what you are, instead of the sometimes what I follow now, what you wanna, they will send them back to Mexico. I wanna watch one, they will detain you for the entirety for the time. I said there's a court you'll be detained. So what you are. They are also looking for vendors to construct more detention facilities for Nkrofo. Into what you are was also called detention facility. And then you bet now till there will be real case, and then you'll be removed expeditiously from the US. Also and for other countries, they are looking at sanctioning countries one Nkrofo for deportation. And it's a country na when you watch the way in. Now you don't cooperate as part of the executive orders. They are looking at sanctioning them countries, for not receiving their people. DJ. And that paperwork be here for deportation as see they are getting rid of them documentary barriers. See them. In your country now, yes, okay. This is as obeying kakra DJ.
No, why them? Because it's why them not the embassies no one why then. Not the actually pana Fijana. Wait for.
Oh, nice.
Just send the person back.
My bad. No. Since when you're that, and you have to
know. Me for Australia, and then me call Australia.
Yeah. Australia, I'm going to want you.
Why do? Actually, man, me for Australia, and then me call Australia.
should have one joke.
You don't want to wait for the embassy. So such will be an obia catch or okay. Can't spend the finesse okay to Australia. I don't feel Japan. Now I need to call Japan.
That's me for Japan. Enjoy your mobile.
So, embassy, you have to deal with the embassy. Now, nipa the details now. Then on
Oh, no, it wastes time. You're wasting of one time. To make a Trump 2.0 in the first time, no, when him as an yet. You get it? So he got tied, like, Pina ended up in court. This time, DJ, I wanna, why you wanna drink no be a party?
there, most of there, or a promise, why catch an inco phone or the two abaman.
Yeah.
But for how long the
Mm.
man do best? But we be never be brave, but boom na or
Mm.
them run for Bobagum. When you nipa.
It's in America there for the first. I think this is the third time I'm saying it. For the first 6 months in this day, so we'll be being hurry. Like just keep your head down. For the first 6 months, just keep your head down. Because when you scapegoats, it is and she any change on crazy not of the flower nine for the first I mean from now to May July. You get it. Just keep your head down. I wanna be careful. Sometimes no cry or you'll be no become. You get it. See, I know. I mean, unfortunately for I had no until the baby to the Ghana in here before. I had on to them. So looking a particular way alone, the way I acting alone cry is a red flag. If there are places you can avoid, DJ avoid it. Ekodwuma na abefie. Ekodwuma na abefie. Yenama till Bay July until things calm down. Oye ne kakra. Asema na aka ne. Oye ne kakra obeje. But in the first just make sure you're not part of it. Because what was over. Honestly, you when you're
My members are the man the answer and major. I wanna watch one see and I wanna wear room now what camp no deportation na since I know about them the close borders now. I wanna see no obeja wanna.
Oh, mention them catch and release no or can you na wage no. So
So
don't
wanna
release
walk
them.
room from Mexico what
Watch
detention
one.
no
Watch one. Don't
no.
release them. Don't release them. Watch one is don't release them. Okay, Yamana that catch and release no was cancelled yesterday. Okay, one.
Naturally one already
Don't
bought
release them.
one.
Already part one. They'll stay there through the process. At asa. See a parole crowd way trip. First nanka parole so can Yamana what's be you know. So what you want no I'm our parole. Neze pui. On way trip. And it is and what's a parole no parole language in the kind as Trump bookum. And it is and what's a parole near case by case basis. Now, case by case basis, no, it has to be a humanitarian or humanitarian. Did you mean humanitarian? But or your mobile plus what's something a mobile, but not just the fact that what's something a mobile, but as in a show US, no, has to be for US benefits. And suddenly I'm our parole. The first nanka humanitarian. I mean. Can they free more ton baby a sin to quasi at asa or kunkum crofun aba need to my bedroom border ne edge whatever formal parole based on humanitarian basis. CCN is humanitarian basis plus all banner has to be for the benefit of the US. No, obi a when free and to quasi. What benefits would I be to the country? In essence, no parole no why then wait you. DJ.
Ati baako a aka ne there. Obey bi. But illegal immigrants no I want no kura kro no. Ono no adi no ye no obey bi. But illegal immigrants no wo mu no men can one away violence na de one na wonyi nkrata wo ye ejuma no because ye wonjuma bi wo American citizens na nkasampo no wo wonye illegal immigrants no ogum no wonyi nkrata no omo no wo ye ejuma bi no wo de bu akro no enti fande wa achi wo nyina wo de kwa ebe wunda ye wa obeka ohia nkrofo aye ejuma ohia nkrofo America be su
without immigrants, chrono obugu. Simple, I mean, it's that simple. Chrono obugu.
So okay there, obeya. So all try that one hour bad records, one hour stubborn, one hour rumor to the worker. Them South American for no rumor where pickpocket, for them drugs on the fine. But it won't go for heart, everybody inside there. Ejuma na epa ye.
Oh, I ain't
Yeah, mpegidi. Enti so kada ontimi yiwo okada oyiwo nya so a one economy no be ha won. Antra me ka there obedu baby no be slow down.
Oh yeah.
Honestly, me there. Me hu there owo onola owo the target of nkofu bi opede o deport one.
What you want?
Owo ne nkofu bi owo some ni surveyor why na feedbacks na nyama e bia court am na nkofu one cases nya reports na cases away nya no or some particular of countries bi na nkofu bi opede o deport one. Me kai the last second them South America, Venezuela, muna ate na them nkofu ha owo ne nkofu bi ba yenze oh ayen Ghana for no one
oh DJ
ambo ede yen no simple ayen so ne ye juma yen Ghana for ye juma for double job obo hours pay woku am America. So imagine that them you were different other Africans na other Asia for na there wo ye juma ho na ka de wonya wonyi nkrata won kwa asema make also dwen ho Americans no go juma won ye ayen nkofu kwa we home care what's the care service wo ko oh living at the if there American for no abrofu no wa turn the way living na
when you
no what so be fear do you living on ye correct
Fosikana, even Fosikana was it living for no? Ah, 1 year. Ah, was this one? 1 year.
No, Crane America cho obeyebi. Ahwe na yesi obeyebi, deport bi mo. And as a lawyer kan no for borders ma ba. Wo plans na unam Brazil ni ade ba san wechi. Say Brazil na obetena na obe hosela. O de wedu atena ona hosela. Na so ya Brazil kasa no. Na nya nkrata ona page ma bi ye. In future no na obetimi aba US ani de onye omunkrata obetimi aba ba sisi onam kwan so ba pa wadu Panama ni ade de utiate se Panama na obe hoso wa atena ho because ubedu Mexico untimi hede untimi nrem serious na yeka no yeka no weti untimi nrem and don't even try wo hwe me wo Ghana na o plans okofa Brazil na okofa Panama ni Nicaragua ni ade a Oscar what osika ne be hye obako ye stranded obako pin wo Mexico so na mo se ye kidnapping ni ade mo titibi ebi mo na from Tapachula crowd obako fa boat Tapachula to Mexico City abrante na America South so me ka bibi wa ha say o pese o ko US a to bo get our document jo visa and the Trump ni uni problem jo visa na flana lawyer me boa jo visa wa embassy na ko na sa backdoor ni de your man open account no ona say no company o twa backdoor ni nyina ba e there wo most onye possible most we deploy them all the sisi aso one war by me the sisi them Israelis, Gaza, them countries Iran na then na one ya matter that was the war no crowd we jai sisi akra we jai we sisi won ko war biom American fo nyina walk back into obenya enough soldiers
soldiers
yeah wo gu ho
Yeah, why and he's crafted the executive orders in such a way that even the states would also was once baba. You get it. See, and everybody wants to Obi kind of kiss the ring. Obi I'm supportive of the president's actions. And you see more states volunteering. I was one crofo. I hear 1,000 yes, bama. I hear 500 yes, bama. So within within the first 6 months, there'll be a lot of action. Into our asana can tobo can let it calm down. But see, as I say, Emma of flower. Oh, wow, from DJ. As the
Lawyer,
aka.
and this is the matter we see. I want lawyers now, you know, or affecting one big time. This is our better when your clients now, then why you and also remember my own time after 6 months.
Oh, see the Amacram slow down because oh yeah, into America, oh yeah, chaos no dorsum, changes no dorsum. Inti sebe, and can the forms now. I'll use an example. Forms now was system. Sometimes was a sign effective the same day. Meanwhile, I mean, maybe Miria by 10 or 11. Now, post office, post for no waba, no waba tam, no what's a call, at asa. Meanwhile, 3 p.m. of that very same day no, was a phone for Fraba. Our work at it is taking effect the same day. It was about 3 p.m. Meanwhile, I mean, my package, call 11. Into what come package, into what card or return it back to me. It's just like the system is just too chaotic. Then yeah, you sort of have to pause and see where in Yamabako before we pick up again. Come na chaos is it? DJ.
Adibakwa minyim. Brofo no woye wontimi njai wontimi nya solution to it. Why from tete till now. O hweme a ade bakwa omuntimi. Oma ya. Omuntimi eya ware. Se me boa bisa lawyer. Ade bakwa secret over Trump or so enkra. Yes ye ware. Me se me ware. Wo be me den. And secret. Ma kan wi. Ade bakwa ono broni or so be ye den. Yes ye mienu yes ye pay ho yes ye ware. Baku on krata baku ni nkrata ya ware. Wo be me den.
Yeah.
Can make cancer match into your water. See the make an obey your day, pebia, aware don't mean jai. Lawyer me das, and a lawyer me wa.
Nine.
No, the audience. Lawyer Abba immigration attorney. Me da say, my friend or a champion lawyer. Or social media and so. Oshana Abba immigration attorney. Abba _ immigration attorney. Oko TikTok abehuno, oko Instagram abehuno, oko Facebook abehuno. The numbers so e dey good screens no. Lawyer bobo numbers no.
Oh, 815-860-4737. Them number na WhatsApp, baby I be you.
Lawyer, me da say, why?
I'm me da say, I mean sure.
Thank you. Into wo immigration me be sa na me mejuma. My bro professional. So you see the delivery we no me nkasa bi we ne juma onim nti the Trump can enra no. We are more the professional. Se me ni obi kasa, obi fu fro onye lawyer, oba ono ye say no ye, obi o taxi driver ye say ono so be kan de. Ono so de ote no de ono so nim. Ba ma obi a betimi akasa wi na me the lawyer bro. Final one, you want to say their previous and come be a midi one to say me the lawyer number. So you hear everything and one. So my show there, in America, say me you be a dinkum. Me allow the other cannot the only no so can. Means you be a quine. Utie me de be a me say me means you be a quine. Me you be a casa. Ti hard me you be casa. Ebia baby no officer one can you only in also bet me search your kind no computer so bet me a kind. You can Google it, you can search it. Tools maybe or you can use AI, you can go on portals, check. See, maybe I see there were I'm the lawyer ba. Obi kura me the lawyer ba obi su kura no oba be metimi obi su ba be trust or no lawyer ni nyadwe. We mama you obin for the get information. They know. On kasa rough. Yes, no kasa rough. Or more random because in a juma no, ya stake into your no baby kabibia on him the oka. Medama say, some of SVTV Africa daily also worldwide from DJ Nyame. Feel anana medema or no. Adia bako abroning on to be stop it. Adia bako, and I'm a kind no. So you're smarter, my catch or your Canada that. So you're smarter, adia bako no. Charlie, subscribe to your channel. Tour Makramo.
Living in Ghana, abroad, a first-timer visiting Ghana, or a company wondering where to get quality service providers in Ghana for any job, then Ejumapa On Demand Services is here to assist you. Ejumapa On Demand Services connect requesters and service providers such as masons, plumbers, electricians, auto repairers, home and office cleaners, trash collectors, rent agents, spa attendants, roofers, beauticians, teachers, CCTV installers, and all artisans on one platform. Yes, one platform. Trust Ejumapa On Demand Services to sort you out any day, anywhere, and at any time. To download the app, please visit the App Store and Play Store or visit our website www.ejumapa.com.
She has a plan, a secret mission filled by gratitude and affection. She chooses her mother's favorite breakfast, Delight Foods, House Sakoko, a harmonious blend of flavors crafted with care and devotion. The taste of tradition and comfort. In that moment, their connection deepens, a bond strengthened by a shared experience. Delight Foods, House Coco, a delicious breakfast made with care and love in just 2 minutes.
So, best filter structure for dear, and then I found condom unique laser whitening. Unique laser whitening, our toothpaste from Kwan. So did you choose here and ma was see a filter? Na eye filter no so no. Na eyi and carbon beer when no beer. Any tea stains, coffee stains, smoking stains beer. Unique laser whitening product. Ebe yini nyina free swama kama. De onya ni se product ni ubetu so. Na odi egu o brush no so. Na de chuchu usini so nyina kama. Uwia enhuru wanum. Jeno wanum sa. Into contact Unique Laser Whitening. Our 079-9979-2330. Unique Laser Whitening. Or say Muni Seso.
This Airbnb in Dansoman Estates, Accra, is only $40 a day and offers all the amenities for a comfortable stay. It is also conveniently located 30 minutes away from the airport. We also have 1 and 2 bedroom apartments for long-term rental at English Heat, Amamprum, 15 minutes to the Togo and the West Hills Mall, going for 1,500 and 1,000 Ghana cedis only. Call Parry Group on 053-866-3532, 053-866-3532. This is Parry Group of Companies.